Ladies and gentlemen, yes, that next race in the Chaos brand is the Funny Car Chaos Classic. You can get your tickets. But myself, David Rattan over there, the voice of the Chaos, it's all about Nitro Chaos tonight. And I love burning some nitro. David, I know you do too.
Oh, you are so correct. And we are focusing on Nitro Chaos tonight. And, you know, when you think back to it, at least for a lot of us, it was the nitro that really set the hook for us. And boy, it's been a lifelong love affair ever since the first taste, the first smell, the first experience of that. And you know, I'll tell you what, anybody that's watching on our show tonight, be sure and let everybody that you know that likes drag racing know that we are on, and we have got a world champion driver. We have got the builder of many, many world champion race cars coming on tonight. It's going to be all about Nitro Chaos. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we are anxious to get started, and we will bring those guests on here in a little while. But, you know, hit the like button, share, and bring some people on, because we're going to have some fun tonight talking about Nitro Chaos, Lee.
Yeah, Nitro Chaos. What a look. Chris Graves has knocked it out of the park, obviously, with Funny Car Chaos, and he's already knocked it out of the park again with Nitro Chaos, because this event, when he first conceived it, like, I thought it was so great that I went on my birthday weekend to the middle of Iowa, which was middle of nowhere, never had been before, had to Uber out there, no guarantee back to the airport for my flight on Sunday. And I'm like, I'm going seeing Nitro being spent out there in the midst of the cornfield. And we're going to be doing it again in several different places this year, not just Eddyville, though Eddyville might have one of the most intriguing events for both Chaos brands on the whole calendar. 4 Nitro Chaos this year, David. Yeah.
I was thinking that Nitro Chaos at Eddyville was your first in-person Funny Car Chaos experience, and I remember that very, very well. It was a little on the warm side, and but boy, it was hot racing action, and it was so much fun there. And we got to spend some time with the fans there at Eddyville, which are incredible. But it's evolved over the years, added Mocan to the mix, and then this year, having the opportunity to add not 1 but 2. Chris said, well, 4, that'll make a series. We can make this a championship series. And so lo and behold, it came together. And since that time, then the dominoes have started to fall, as we've got Dean Dubbin from DMP Awning that signed on and said, yeah, we'll be the title sponsor for your Nitro Chaos championship tour. And one of our guests tonight, Murf McKinney, comes on and signs up as the official Nitro Fab source and title sponsor for our Nitro Chaos A field, contingency sponsor, and more. And of course, Taylor Motorsports Products and Dove Racing Fuels sign on, and CP Carrillo signs on as the B field sponsor. $10,000 for the points payout, going to the top 5 at the end of the season, and 2 new venues that we've not ever been to before. So we'll go back to Eddyville and to Mocan, but we're going to open up the season coming up in April at Edgewater Sports Park in Cincinnati, and close out the season at Thunder Valley Raceway Park in Oklahoma City, Noble, Oklahoma, just south of Oklahoma City, right just south of the University of Oklahoma, for those that are Sooner fans out there. But man, just tremendous excitement already building for what promises to be an extraordinary inaugural season, doing the Chaos in the Cornfield at Eddyville with both Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos, and then going down to Mocan for that 61st anniversary event. Always a great time at Mocan Dragway, and we're going to have two different times there at Mocan this year, as the championship finals for Funny Car Chaos, of course, is going to be Labor Day weekend there at Mocan Dragway. But the focus is on Nitro tonight, and the entries are already just piling in for Nitro Chaos for our season opener. And they're already stacking up for the Eddyville event for Chaos in the Cornfield. And the rest of the events are coming soon as, there's just so many things going on. I got a chance to talk with Chris over there at Chaos World headquarters this morning. And as usual, it's nonstop on the phone. He can't even get off one phone call before it's ringing again. And that kind of excitement, that kind of enthusiasm that our fans, that our racers, that our supporters and friends are bringing, it's just extraordinary. And we're really, really happy to be able to talk Nitro Chaos tonight. You know, the inaugural season, we say this all the time, Lee, there's only going to be one first Nitro Chaos champion.
That's right.
And a lot of people are thinking, I want to be that first ever Nitro Chaos Series champion.
For sure, they want to be the first champion of this series, and a series that is giving people that burn nitro something just like Funny Car Chaos did. If you were running a funny car and you didn't quite fit rules here or there, it gave you a place to race and compete. It's doing exactly the same thing. And I love, again, run what you brung, bring enough. As long as it's got four wheels, run it down the track, burning 80% plus nitro. Because, I mean, we already have signed up for the first event of the year. We've got another door slammer burning nitro. I didn't know there was another one out there, but there apparently is. Yeah, I didn't know, but there apparently is. It's going to be there. We've got funny cars. We've got alters. We've got front engine dragsters. We got A-fuel dragsters. Like, only thing we need is like a legit top fuel dragster to show up, and it's like the whole gamut is covered. Before long, I bet Chris is going to have the two-wheel boys come in on the thing too. Like, hey, we want to burn some nitro. We don't have to run with the four-wheel guys, but we'll do the two-wheel thing too. If you want to burn nitro, this is the place to do it, I think. Look, 4 races, win a championship. It's out there. Come on, guys and girls, do it.
Well, this is, I say all the time, there's only 2 kind of people in the world. That's people that love chaos and people who haven't been to one of our races yet. And when we go over there into the Cincinnati area, that's going to be further east than we've ever been. And that's going to kind of open up some new territory. And we'll have some new people racing there in the chaos world. And so we will add to the group of people that are in that first category, people that love chaos. And, when we meet Pete Dove and Joey Haas at Eddyville at Chaos in the Cornfield, it will be our second race of the Nitro Chaos season. And it's just going to be outstanding to have all of those nitro cars showing up and burning that nitro and kicking off this inaugural championship season. So I can't wait.
Yes, sir. I can't wait either. Well, David, so Eddyville, I've been there. You've been there. Mocan, I've been there. You've been there. We are well known to it, and it's known to us in the Chaos brand. Edgewater Motorsports Park, I have heard great things from many other, even funny car racers, that this is a long-standing facility that has been running drag racing for ages, match racing, burning nitro, funny car nationals, all that type of thing. Definitely, it fits for us being there. I haven't heard much about the Oklahoma track. I'm sure you've been up that way. What do you know?
I have been there. It was a track that was built. It's been there for a good number of years. We have run the Lone Star Forklift Outlaw Fuel Altered Association has run there multiple times, and the old SHRA would run there. And of course, they have quite a history there of no prep type racing, being in the 405, so to speak. But Lucas Series events, so it's no stranger to having nitro fueled dragsters going down that the racing surface there, and they're spending a lot of time, effort, and money with the new ownership there at Thunder Valley Raceway Park of bringing things up to what they consider to be a higher level and a higher standard. Not that there was anything wrong with the place. It's been run for the last several years by one of the best families in the history of motorsports. And but a change came in the ownership, and And so the new owners are doing a marvelous job of doing the upgrades. They want to put their own stamp on things, and to have this race in a metropolitan area the size of Oklahoma City. I mean, we're talking about 1 million people in that general vicinity, within not very far from there. So the track will be an ideal venue for hosting that championship finals, and of course in Chaos we are supported tremendously by an awful lot of racers from Oklahoma, and so to have an event finally within the borders of the state of Oklahoma, that makes us feel pretty cotton picking good, because so many of the racers in Funny Car Chaos, and of course in Nitro Chaos too, we've got quite a few that call Oklahoma their home. And so to be able to have this championship finals in their home state at Thunder Valley Raceway Park, could not be more excited about that.
All sounds good. Well, David, I'm certainly excited for the rest of the show. As you mentioned, some great guests on the night. Rachel Curl, we're going to have her in just a few moments, and then Murf McKinney right here on Chaos Live, a Nitro Chaos edition. David, how about we take a break and move right along into that first guest?
All right, Rachel's coming up right after this break. Hang in.
If you can race it, chances are we make a piston or connecting rod for it. Oh, we have about 4,000 to 5,000 different part numbers on the shelf for connecting rods and pistons. So about half of what we sell comes right off the shelf, and the other half is custom-made parts. I am a firm believer in distribution and everybody getting their cut, doing their job, and getting rewarded for it. So we'll see how that goes in the future.
And we welcome Rachel Curl to the broadcast. Rachel, good to have you on. And look, we were talking a little bit before coming onto the show. I want to dive right into it. You're not just driving this year, though you're going to be doing that, but you may very well be the first championship crew chief tuning for your sister in Nitro Chaos this year. That's pretty cool. Talk to me about turning some wrenches.
Yeah, so everyone who knows me knows I'm not really a stranger to getting my hands dirty or working on the car. And whenever I won the championship with NHRA in 2021, I was working on the clutch every race, every round. Even last year when Megan ran at Mocan for the Nitro Chaos and I was about 7 months pregnant, I was still out there turning wrenches for her. And ever since I was younger, I've always jumped in the trailer whenever I had a free second and had my dad show me, like the graph on the computer and what he's going to change and why he's changing it. And I've always been very interested in that part of it, but I've never exactly had the time to be able to attempt to be a crew chief because I've either been driving or working on the car. And since my dad is going to be in Charlotte with the other two dragsters, he's giving me the opportunity this year to give it a try. And I'm sure I'll be calling him a lot, but I'm really excited to just give it a try and see how it goes.
And that is great to hear. And it kind of leads me into one of the first questions we have. I don't know. One of my favorite shows is Ted Lasso, and to paraphrase Danny Rojas of FC Richmond, racing is life. And in your world, kind of maybe life is racing for you and your family. But you've actually just demonstrated by taking the year off that that right after your world championship year, that family is life. So tell us, how's your growing family?
It's doing good. Yeah. Lucas, our son, is about 4 months old right now. And Daniel, my husband, actually took him with him tonight to go pick up his doors for his demon build that we're doing and dropping off the front clip for it. So me and my husband both race. We actually met at Mocan at the racetrack. So it's in our blood. We definitely love it. And I don't think I could find a better partner for me because he definitely understands what it means to be gone at the track on the weekends or spending the evenings working on the cars. And it's awesome that we get to do it together and both enjoy and love it.
Did you say a demon build?
Yeah, he's building a 71 Demon right now. It's been a few years in the making, but we finally have the car back from the painter, so he started wiring it up in his free time, and yeah, hopefully we have it out this year.
So he's an A-body fan.
Yeah, he's a huge Mopar fan too.
Mm-hmm. Now, did I see a Plymouth Duster that he's been racing?
Yes, he does have a Duster that he's been racing. I believe it's a 76 Duster. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So, well, from, you've progressed from being a racer's kid, and then I think you stepped into a junior dragster and probably, bracket racing and doing all that kind of stuff, stepping into the big time world, following in Dad's footsteps, and becoming a world champion with yourself in the seat. Take us through that progression of, what it was like for Rachel going from racer kid to world champion.
Last 2 years ago was actually the first opportunity I've gotten to be able to drive full time, because my work was able to give me the time off to be able to travel with my family. And it meant a lot to be able to spend all that time with my dad and my mom and Megan. And my only goal going into the year was to win a national event, since I'd never won one before. And my first national event out was Gainesville, and we ended up winning it. So I honestly didn't expect to win the championship. I had big shoes to fill, since Megan had just won 2 back-to-back. And it was just really crazy that it ended up coming down to the finals of basically the last race, winner take all. And I think that's one of the best ways to win a championship. Also one of the most nervous ways, but it was a great time. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, when it comes down to the last race of the season, maybe the last pair down the track, there's no time for ho-hum.
No, there's not.
It kept everybody very interested right up to the last moment. So you and Megan both went to Pittsburgh State, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay. When she was on the show, she talked about how much she loved the experience there at Pittsburgh and being a part of the guerrilla community. Did you enjoy the same type of high profile, high fun experience?
Oh yeah, I loved Pitt. It was a lot of fun. I even lived there a year after I graduated because I got a job around the area. So I just stuck around there, and it was really nice that Mocan is just right down the street from there. So I was able to keep racing locally and hanging out with some college friends and just having a lot of fun.
It's when you go and you have that kind of experience, sometimes it's kind of hard to leave, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yep, I know how that goes. So Lee mentioned this, and in 2023, for part of the year, you're going to climb back in the saddle and at least race. I think you're racing what? You're racing Eddyville and Mocan as a driver?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And then will you be doing double duty at those 2 races, also crew chiefing for Megan?
I'm not too sure about that. I think my dad will be there, so I'm sure he'll step back in. He might let me attempt to tune my car. I'm sure I'll still be working on mine. But yeah, he just has the other cars tied up at Charlotte for both the race in Oklahoma and the race in Cincinnati. So that's why I'm only able to drive at 2 of the races.
Okay. So the
David,
sister act.
I bet she certainly would like to tune for her sister, though, at those races.
Yeah.
Saying,
Different personalities have different strengths and different likes, and it sounds like that you are very much interested in the mechanical side of things.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I started helping my dad whenever I was in 3rd grade. I just remember walking out to the shop and asking him to start teaching me everything. So it's something I've always found interesting and always have enjoyed. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. And I'm sure as a dad, as a father of daughters myself, I'm sure that was pretty cool to your dad, for you to walk out and say, "Hey, Dad, show me."
Yeah. I think it was. I think he misses me sometimes not being home anymore.
Yeah, but when you and the grandkids show up, I'm sure it's a great time.
It is. Of course, we're always working.
Well, so let's say that there's a young lady somewhere driving a junior dragster, and they look at your life and they think, wow, world championship drag racer, got the family racing operation. They just think that would be the absolute best thing that could ever happen to them. What would your counsel to them be?
I would say, don't give up, just keep working hard. My sister definitely helps out a lot with getting all the sponsorships, and I would definitely highly recommend them take her class to learn how to, build your deck, talk to sponsors, because sponsors will help you get pretty far in what you want to do as far as racing goes, because it's not cheap. So just don't give up, work hard, keep trying, get your name out there, get on social media. I don't know, just don't give up.
Stay with it and stay at it and keep it going. Megan's tuning in. She will be your toughest competition, she says.
Yeah, she will be.
Nothing like the supportive family dynamic there. No, I really love seeing the way that you guys showed up there at MoKan. That was an incredible weekend for the Meyer team. Both cars wind up being in the final round, but getting a chance to see you guys at all 4 Nitro Chaos events this year should be excellent. Now, the competition, you may have been looking to see what the competition that's already lined up to take you on. Have you checked that out on the website?
Actually, no, I have not. I didn't know that you could look and see who all's entered. So I'll have to go check that out.
Okay.
But
yeah.
It'll be really cool.
NitroChaos.com, or if you go to funnycarchaos.com, there's a tab for Nitro Chaos, and you can just see who's already entered. So you guys may be lining up next to a Nitro Pro Mod door slammer, altered slingshot dragsters, funny cars. It's all fair game in Nitro Chaos. It's going to be an awful lot of fun to see that going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be pretty awesome to race a different car other than another dragster.
Yeah. Now, have you been to these venues that we're going to be racing at? Have you been to Edgewater?
No, that is actually the only track I've never been to. I've been to Eddyville a handful of times. Me and my husband actually race all the time at MoKan. It's only an hour from us. Mm-hmm. And then I've raced at Noble, Oklahoma. I've actually bracket raced there before. They had a big money event going on. And I've been there a lot with my dad with the alcohol car back when they used to run us there. So it'll be cool to check out a new track this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Gary Wheeler Jr. just chimed in and said he's entered at all 4. So that'll be in Oklahoma. Nitro slingshot drag. You'll probably find in the other lane a timer, as Gary and John have decided early on that they were going to chase this championship, kind of like your family did. Well, man, what a kick this is going to be this season. Now you've got some. You were talking about Megan being good at bringing sponsors on. Your family has received some good backing to be able to do things at the level that you do. So, did I see that Gunk has come on board as a big sponsor for you? And they may have been there for years, but I know that you certainly want to get the opportunity to give them their due.
Yes, yeah, they've actually always helped us out, but this year Megan worked out a deal with them, and they are going to be sponsoring her full-time at all 4 races and me at the 2 races I'll be at. So thank you so much, Gunk, for helping us out, as well as NGK is on board again and Lucas Oil. So we're excited to have them sticking with us too.
Man, that is phenomenal. Have you ever raced against a funny car?
No, I have not. So it'll be awesome to get that opportunity. see what that's like.
Well, this has been so much fun to have you on, and thank you very, very much for taking the time out and giving us the opportunity to learn a little bit more about Rachel Curl Racing, and we look forward to seeing that dragster at the Nitro Chaos events kicking off in April. Lee, you still with us?
Yeah, we're here, man. Yeah, just getting some good info there in the chat for everybody. If you want to see what the entry lists are, well, you got the links in the chat. So doing some good producer work behind the scenes.
All right. I kept seeing that circle spinning on your video there, and I thought, well, I hope we haven't lost Lee.
Oh, hey, the circle's always spinning, David. I mean, it's never completely loaded. Don't worry. Just keep going.
If we lose you, I think we lose the whole deal. So anyway.
Hey, you're a professional. Just keep going, man.
Yep, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll keep it going. So Megan, now Rachel, now you've got your links to where you can go and see what all's coming your way in April at Edgewater.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for plugging in with us tonight. It's been great to find out more about you, Rachel, and we look forward to seeing you at the races.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, well, we're back. David, I'm thinking about Nitro Chaos, what we've got in store this year, and I cannot help but think of like a four-way battle for the lead going into the last race, the championship, between like an A-Fuel dragster, a funny car, a front engine dragster, and a fuel altered. Like, it would be so awesome if the top four were all represented by different vehicles, all burning nitro. Oh, it'd be so cool.
You know, on the break there, I was thinking, I was going, because that hype video there showing all the header flames and everything, there is nothing like nighttime nitro racing. And when we come in there with Friday night qualifying and the sun's down and it's dark and people experience that for the first time, there's nothing like it. I was thinking about, we always race. When I was a kid going to the races, it was Sunday afternoon, and you got the smell and you got the tickle in the ear from those high horsepower cars. But then one time they had a match race at night, and it was the craziest darn thing. It was Kelly Chadwick's Camaro. This was 1971. Kelly Chadwick's Camaro, and Doheny and Fullerton's Trojan Horse, which would come back the next year to be the world champion. And they were doing fire burnouts. And then at the head of the throttle, you saw the header flames go up. And, as if I wasn't already completely engaged, that's what did it. And so for the way our schedule is set up with our chaos events, Friday night qualifying, where you get to see the cars under the lights, creating their own lights. And then Saturday night finals, you get to see more of the same. Man, it just could not be better.
Completely agree. Great show and great show set up for the fans at Funny Car Chaos, Nitro Chaos. And there's even more than the Nitro Burners. I mean, these are packed shows when Chaos rolls into town, no matter what the track is. There is plenty to see and enjoy. And yes, the cherry on top is those header flames at night and into the later rounds of elimination. Now, I'm excited. Looking over the entry list, a lot of great cars are going to be there at Edgewater. We're going to get to see Drastic Plastic, or at least my first time, in its altered like trim, and not just the funny car. I've seen it in the funny car trim. Beautiful machine, Mustang. I don't know what that crew does to get the header flames to throw as high as it does, but that's some of the highest throwing header flames out there, period. It's going to be cool to see that thing in its alter trim. I haven't seen it in person.
Well, you're in for a treat. Jody Austin is tuning in with his talking about his bushwhacker in the house watching tonight. Thank you so much. And Pete Dove, of course, has another one of those cars that's like that. Big pump, big flames. Drastic Plastic does it probably as well. Well, maybe better than a lot. But those big pump, big flames, it is a sight to behold. And the Drastic Plastic altered, before they decided to put a funny car body on it, if you were anywhere near where they were running, it was must see racing. And so we're going to get a chance to see some more of that. But I could go on and on about Nitro racing, because there's just nothing in motorsports or anything else that compares to that sight of those header flames up over the wings of the altered and way over the roof of the funny cars and over the wings on the dragsters. And it's just too much fun.
It is. It is truly sensory overload when Nitro is involved. I don't know what it is about a V8 burning Nitro. It has that distinct sound to it. You're like, oh, that's Nitro. And it's music. It is music. Like, just light them up in a cackle fest, in a symphony hall. I'll take that as my orchestra. Yes, please. It is truly music. Love that sound when they get on Nitro and they are cackling along. And I love how you say from the tower as cars are rolling up, and especially in Funny Car Chaos when there's different fuels being burned. You're like, this one's got some pop in the tank, and I definitely like pop, and I don't mean soda, I mean Nitro.
I love that pop, and it definitely has a pop. I think I probably picked that up from my buddy Mike Eubank. And but the CH3N02, really distinctive sound, and well, we have some great racers that have signed up to do this. And Gary Wheeler Jr. talking about header flames in the front engine dragster is unbelievable, and you are so right. But the Edgewater event, Cincinnati, a lot of people have been to Cincinnati, or they've been actually across the river in Kentucky, because that's where the airport is. And it's not like, a lot of people have passed through there. I've changed planes there before, but this will be the first time I've actually gotten outside of the airport and checked the surroundings out there. And like you said, Edgewater is known as quite the racing plant. and we've got, it's the end of April, so we're 6-7 weeks out from this event, but the buzz is building already. And there's 16 cars, I think, entered. So we've already got A field full and B field full, but the entries haven't stopped coming in. And I'm anticipating some more entries being there for that particular event. But this is going to get out of control before the year is over, and I love that prospect.
For sure, yes. Already. And we got a good bit of time to go, full A field, full B field, as you mentioned. And many of the cars, they're new to Chaos, period. And some of them are traveling rather far. I think of the Rat Poison gang. They're here in South Carolina. They're in the upstate South Carolina, in my neck of the woods. They're traveling to Edgewater to be a part of Nitro Chaos round 1 in 2023. And it's good to, you typically see them in match race settings, and they also will go to Bowling Green for the Heritage Series when they're in town on the East Coast event that they have. So it's good to see that we're expanding beyond just the Funny Car Chaos group, getting new blood in that are interested in this championship run, because where else can you go compete for a championship than right here? What Chris Graves has done again, he did it again and gave a place for people burning nitro that usually they're just match racing and maybe making a couple of runs to the track, getting paid in type of event. Now they can go out there and win a championship. And I'm sure many of them are hungry for that. They haven't had the opportunity to do that in a long time.
Well, and you've mentioned that, and that is such a spot on point. Place to race, calling people up, asking to get booked into a match race. Well, yeah, that works out sometimes, but to have 4 races on the schedule that you could go to a sponsor group, go to your supporters, go to other ways of getting your race operation funded, and be able to say, look, we've got this many races and we're competing with this many cars. There's going to be grandstands full of people, and we'll be able to carry your message out there. And it lends itself towards a more successful operation and a more successful season for the nitro racers that choose to stick with that fuel, because it's nothing like it. And for them to have the opportunity to chase a championship run, that's pretty extraordinary, and very excited that this has evolved to the point in only its 3rd year, which was exactly the same as Funny Car Chaos. 3rd year series, championship series. It didn't quite go that fast for the Nitro Chaos. It came together at the last minute. But to kick things off with an inaugural championship season, this is big news in the world of nitro racing.
Well, David, we've got one more guest. He is very accustomed to burning nitro himself and well known building the nitro burners out there in the drag racing world. But his company, McKinney Corp, has gone well beyond just building drag cars and has had great impact in other industries as well. Murf McKinney. We'll take that break, David, and get a legend on.
Let's do it.
Murf McKinney, welcome to Chaos Live. Good to have you on the show. And what problems have McKinney Corp solved lately? Just wondering.
Well, it's good to be on the show. Been looking forward to this. we kind of build our business solving other people's problems. So, we take the monkey off our back, and it's a daily thing that goes on at McKinney Corp.
Man, we're delighted to have you on the show, Murf. I want to welcome you, and thanks for making time to be here. Hey, what was your favorite part of driving a funny car?
The burnout.
What'd you love about it?
Back then we did these long, smoky burnouts. You go to the 8th mile and then back up really fast, and it was just that was the neatest part of it when I was driving. And the dry hops, which those have gone by the wayside.
Yeah, I was about to say, I bet you probably did a few dry hops too.
Yeah.
That was now in Funny Car Chaos. We've got some dry hoppers. We got the dry hop king Jordan Ballou has revived that practice, and
awesome.
So we get to see a little bit of dry hopping. But man, in those days that you're talking about, now you started with injected nitro, is that right?
That's correct. The first car I had was an injected fuel funny car.
Okay.
That was just before the pro comp started, and towards the end, I think the second year that we raced that, we ended up putting a blower on it and changing it over to alcohol. Yeah.
Okay, you went from injected nitro to supercharged alcohol fuel.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, all right. Back when I started watching, which was 70, there would be a mix of supercharged nitro cars and injected nitro cars. You probably have met or heard about some of these guys. Terry Pringle, Ben Griffin. They would run the UDRA up there in the Midwest, and you may have raced against them. I don't know.
Yeah, and Ron Pellegrini with the I forget what he called his association, but he promoted a series around the Midwest also.
I think I've seen them on YouTube with some of their events recorded, on film, really back in the day.
Yeah, we actually used to race it at Edgewater quite frequently. And Ron Pellegrini would fly in from Chicago in his helicopter and land down at the end and manage the race, and then jump back in his helicopter and fly back to Chicago.
A lot of characters were back in those days that were putting on the shows and doing things like flying in on helicopters from Chicago.
Yeah.
Man, what a deal. Now, was your first ride a funny car, or did you race something before you climbed behind the butterflies?
I jumped right in a funny car. Yep. And then went to in '76 went to the big show car. Yep.
All right. There it is. I remember seeing that when you were on Monday Morning Racer, which, by the way, what I got to tell you, the conversation that you and Lee had on the Monday Morning Racer, that's got to be considered must-see video for an aspiring racer and really for an aspiring business owner. You sir, have some amazing insights, such as your goal was to do 50% racing and 50% non-racing with your business, which speaks to diversifying your operation to assure survival and longevity. And that's just amazing insights. Tell us about that.
Well, the motorsports historically has its ups and downs and goes in cycles. We had a really good run. It's been very good to us, been very blessed. And in '08, when things started to slow down because of the economy, we looked to see what is it can we do? We're not a furniture manufacturer and all we can make is furniture. We can make a little bit of anything. So we started searching that out and started getting some commercial work. And from that, we do a lot of work for Caterpillar. We do a lot of work for our Subaru automotive plant that's next door to us. Last year, we built 20,000 trap bars for the military that a gentleman took and created a He took a shipping container and filled it full of workout equipment, and they could drop this anywhere in the world and open it up and hang all this workout equipment around it and have a fitness center anywhere in the world at any time. We got a really cool project we're doing right now, and that is an autonomous sprayer for the ag industry that is solar powered. It'll run 24 hours a day, and it's got optics on it that will identify the individual weed and spray the individual weed instead of having to spray the whole field. We were contracted to do all the design work for all the mechanicals on it, and we're in the process of doing a production run of those right now.
Fascinating. Are you originally from Indiana?
I am, yep.
Okay.
Born and raised here.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Midwest, the first time that we did a race in the Midwest was Havana at Central Illinois Dragway. We did a couple of years there. And of course, that was the first chaos in the cornfield because we were completely surrounded by corn that was, higher than your head. And Keith Jackson wound up getting in the corn at the end of the racetrack, kind of like Dave Gallegos did at Eddyville. But, when I got there, Murf, I thought, and I probably even said, future farmers, why are we here? Because that's my background as being in the FFA and growing up like that and just being right there in the thick of it. So when I heard you talk about this autonomous project for the agriculture industry, man, I've judged some speaking contests for the state FFA convention here in the state of Texas, and they talk about the drones and the items like you're talking about, which lends itself to greater efficiency. And then to hear you talking about it and to know that you're doing that kind of thing, technology is changing the world in a lot of ways, isn't it?
It certainly is. And on that subject, we have a slogan that says where technology makes us different. And that's really what set us apart from and got us ahead of the game in the chassis business with all the cars was we have software where we can build the whole car and model it and put in all the engine torques and aero loads and weights of the car. And it tells us how much stress every tube in the whole car sees. So we can take, if there's an area that's overbuilt or an area that's underbuilt, we can change that so that the stresses are balanced throughout the whole car. And it takes all the guesswork out of it and gives you a better end use for the structure that you're trying to get down the racetrack, to optimize the power, to get the power to the ground. And again, like you said, technology is what got us there.
Well, this is one of the things, and we'll talk about it on occasion, that I got interested in geometry because of racing. Is like I wanted to know how to figure out the cubic inches of a V8 engine. So I asked my teacher, what's the formula? Pi r square h times 8 to get your cubic inches of a V8 engine. Well, you got your education not from going to college as a student. I do remember you saying that you went to a college professor and said, "Hey, can I come talk to you?" And was that Minnesota?
Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
Yep. But also, we're here locally at Purdue University, and over the years, they've been very good to me. And I've become friends with several of the professors here. And again, we would search out the professor in that particular field and go to him and sit down with him. Lock myself in the room and not let him get away from me until he got it through my thick skull what it was I was trying to understand. But from the wind tunnel testing that they've done on front wings for us to weather station. We were one of the very first people to have a weather station on a little Texas Instrument magnetic read card back in the early mid 80s, I guess it was, that a lot of the top teams used at that time. calculate the error. And that all came from a professor at Purdue University.
Man, so I get, for young people who hear the counselor tell them science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and have that maybe go over their head, you know what? There's a place for all of that in racing and in a lot of other fields. But if racing is what trips your trigger, then a person could become like another Murf McKinney and create a business utilizing science, engineering, mathematics, and technology to create something outstanding for the world of racing.
You're exactly right. You know, be the best that you can be, and just keep trying to make a better mousetrap.
One of the things that you also said, I spent 20 years trying to get people to do business with my company and not with me. And I just thought that was phenomenal, because it speaks to the value that you place on those professionals that work for you, wanting them to be able to make a good living for their family right now and carry that business on for a long time to come. I just think that was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's I'd look pretty stupid in this big building all by myself if it wasn't for the employees. And I'll put them up against any group of people in the world. They've got a phenomenal group of people. They've been with us a long time, and we have a flat management system. There's no one that's any better than anyone else. And we have a mantra that says trust, dignity, and respect, and that's a two-way street between everyone. And if you're not experiencing that, I want to know about it.
Outstanding. Sounds like a great place to work, where the individual is valued. So, Nitro Chaos, first of all, thank you for coming on board and helping us to bring this to fruition, bring it to reality. Going to be the title sponsor for our A field. Got a contingency bonus for the winner in the A or the B field, or both if it happens to be. If someone is running a McKinney fuel tank, oil tank, or overflow tank, you're our official Nitro Fab source. You know, you've got a message that you want to convey by adding your name to Nitro Chaos as a sponsor. And one of those things, of course, is highlighting the work that you do. You guys kind of start at the front of the car, go all the way to the back, or start at the back, go all the way to the front, and can fabricate anything and everything that a racer might need.
You know, we make so many different parts, and it's parts that every one of those racers, a lot of them already use, or that are available for them to use to make their job easier as they work on the car or modify their car between races or over the off season. We're working on a newer online store to highlight all of those, but I mean, everything from pedals and handles and tabs and brackets and bushings and motor plates and rear end plates and special fittings and clevises. I mean, anything you can possibly imagine, we've got it on the shelf. I mean, we've got hundreds and hundreds of parts that we make and we sell to all different forms of motorsports.
That is great. That is great. So you have built, as an individual and as an organization, so many championship cars. You probably know exactly how many it is, but there's been so many, I'm not sure that you do, but I'm sure you remember the first one. What was the first championship car that came out of your shop?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I know the answer to that. Other than it was probably either a Bernstein car or a Coletta car. Yeah.
I didn't look it up myself, but I was thinking Bernstein, because that was one that came to mind quickly. And you know, there was an awful lot of championship cars that came out of McKinney Corp.
Yeah. I think we're on serial number 457 or 467 or something like that.
Man, lots and lots of race cars. Now, you talked about on one of the previous shows, one of the unique things about drag racing, no suspension.
Yes.
That the frame itself and the way things are constructed actually serves as the suspension, and you change things based on how you, what do you call it, how you load the frame as far as how it's going to respond.
Yes, the spring rate of the car is made up of the chassis and the tire, and so whenever a new tire comes out, it changes the overall spring rate of the car. So we have to modify the spring rate of the chassis to match that of the tire to get the optimum performance. And again, we go back to our software where we can play what-if scenarios by changing tubing or structure or geometry within the car to do that. The current funny cars like Tim Wilkerson is running now, it's got a bolt-on clip just in front of the A-arms to improve the roll rate of the torsional rate of the car. A really big challenge was back when Eric Medlin had his crash, and Austin Coyle wanted to go to a 3-rail chassis, and he challenged us to design the 3-rail chassis to have the same spring rate as the 2-rail chassis did, so that they didn't suffer performance. And we were able to accomplish that. It was a lot of work. We put a lot of hours in it, but we were able to accomplish that with the 3-rail car.
And what a difference it has made as the cars are safer than they have actually ever been.
Yeah, that's correct. They are safer than they've ever been before.
Very valuable. So in race cars, something could become obsolete very quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Typically, what we build today isn't what we would build 6 months from now on a race car. Mm-hmm. So we learned how to manufacture in short runs in a very short time period, which has served us well on the commercial side, because a lot of the stuff we do for Caterpillar are what they call proof design or prototype parts. So we go in and we make 2 parts or 4 parts of a certain part form.
So whether it's a short run or like the weight system that you're talking about, 20,000, you can do a little job, you can do an enormous job.
Yes.
And you've got the know-how, the software, the experience, and the professionals to put all those things together.
Yes. Yeah. And we're just so excited to be part of the Nitro Chaos, to work with the folks there, and try and help them through their problems as keeping those cars going up and down the racetrack.
Well, and we are very excited to have a person of your stature and your reputation joining Nitro Chaos. And I know that our racers are going to be ringing up your phone and talking to you if you're at the racetrack or visiting with your professionals. And we hope it's a marriage made in heaven. We absolutely love having you here as a guest on the show tonight. A question just come up is, will you or some of your staff be on site at any of our events? I
plan on attending all 4.
Excellent. Yep. Gary Wheeler Jr., there's the answer to your question. All right. Well, you can't get better support than what you just heard, racers. And so, Murf McKinney, I know you're a busy man. And I know you have a very taxing schedule, but thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight, and with our racers and with our viewers. It's an honor to have met you this way, and I look forward to shaking your hand in person.
Me also, and I appreciate you having us on.
All right.
See you, Murf.
All right, thank you.
David, they're doing some cool stuff. Like, I went and found a photo of the autonomous robot in the field sprayer thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've been working on. That's pretty doggone cool.
It is. It is. And, just the application for that kind of deal where the robot can go out there or the drone can, survey the field instead of having to water the whole field. There may be a place that doesn't need any. So don't water that much or don't treat that particular spot. The economic advantages that come from technology when it's properly applied is enormous. And to think that, one of our own in the racing community is helping to bring that positive change about in our world, that's got to make you feel pretty good.
It does. And I am convinced, because there are so many examples from the motorsports world to other areas of life, that you put a racer in a problem-solving mode somewhere else, and they're going to come up with a solution, because racing is nothing but solving a huge problem the whole entire time. How do I get this machine from A to B and be first?
Well, then, and how many times on an interview do you hear a racer talk about, well, we made some changes. Well, we made some, and you kind of go, well, how many changes do you have to make? Well, until you're in the winner's circle all the time, apparently some more. But it's that problem-solving mentality that says we're going to build this right. We're going to do this in a way that not only comes up to a standard, but exceeds the standards. And when you're exceeding standards, then you are moving the ball forward. You are raising the bar. You're all those cliches about excellence. That's what racing brings out, is excellence in performance on the racetrack and in other applications. And that's one of the things that's so exciting about what we do, is that it takes commitment, dedication to excellence to achieve any level of success. And it is so much fun to be a part of that type of community.
And I've got to say, Chris Graves bringing out excellence for all Nitro burners this year in 2023 with 4 Nitro Chaoses, first ever championship run for the series and the brand, and it is going to be a spectacular time.
It really, really is. Can hardly wait to get started on it. I'm not telling you anything, that the preparations have already started in our world, of the media world, but the preparations are going on at shops all around the country as people are finally getting their parts in, and some of them you've seen pictures posted. It's ready to go. We're ready to, crank up the tow vehicle and head down to Ennis for the inaugural, for the first race of the season, the 3rd annual Lone Star Forklift Funny Car Classic down there at the Texas Motorplex, and that's going to be great. And then your Nitro Chaos racers are putting everything together to get ready for Edgewater. Yeah, I'm telling you, cannot wait to get to all these events and get this season underway.
I cannot wait either. And look, I got to admit, I'm going to March meet. And I'm going because it's March meet, but I'm going with a little bit of like, hey guys, y'all can burn nitro over here too. Like, just come on.
Yep. There's nitro racers coast to coast, and we're going from Cincinnati to Oklahoma City, and there's some races that come pretty close together, and referring to Tulsa and Bowling Green. And who knows, if you can get to one of those, you might can get to one of ours. And I can assure you, you'll have a really good time at a Nitro Chaos or a Funny Car Chaos event.
And he over there is a man that you can believe. Trust me.
Well, Lee, I think we've had a good conversation. I really enjoyed getting a chance to meet Rachel and Murf, and what a thrill to highlight Nitro Chaos tonight and this inaugural season. of Nitro Chaos. Going to be good. It's already looking like we've got full fields, and I expect that by the time the championship finals comes around, could there be a C field in Nitro Chaos? Well, I don't know, but if you build it, they will come, and if they come, then most of the time we figure out a way to give them a way to run. So anyway, A field, B field, Nitro Chaos, 4 races this season, and we're just getting warmed up.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it for sure. And I'm hoping that the photo loads in time. Yes, because we have a rare announcement, David. We know who we're going to have next time. And I've got the thumbnail. So next show, Julie Natus and Mary Reap. It's going to be an all-lady show talking about funny cars once again, a nitro burner and a methanol burner on Chaos Live.
Ladies' Night coming up in 2 weeks here on Chaos Live. We hope you will plug in and be a part of it with us. This will be fun to talk with Julie, and I know Mary is going to be a blast, as that gang out of Austin, Texas is always fun to spend time with, and we'll have a great time with these 2 ladies on Chaos Live coming up in a couple of weeks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you supporting the show and our sponsors. Be sure and like the page and share it, and invite everybody to become a part of the fun of Chaos Live, Funny Car Chaos, and Nitro Chaos. And we'll see you March the 8th for the next episode of Chaos Live. Good night, everyone.